Good morning and welcome to Mortgage Coach. This is Tina Bradford. I'll be your hostess today. I am one of the national trainers here, and this is your March Madness class. Today we are going to be looking at the seller buy down presentation. So we are going to use the permanent seller buy down. I want to look at this, show you guys how to leverage it in the market, as well as show you guys how to approach realtors with it in order to maybe build some more business and relationships out there in the market. So as you know, Mortgage Coach, if you do not have it on your phone, now is a great time to download it. If you plan on working with realtors, you need it for your open house. If you have the Apple phone, go into the Apple Store. And if you have an Android, you'll go into the Google Store. Just type in the name of the program, Mortgage Coach, and go ahead and download it from there. We also suggest that you download RateWatch onto your phone as well. RateWatch is great just to show that you have a little bit more leverage in understanding what is going on in the market. As we all hear every single day, what are rates doing? So let's go ahead and get started. We do have a little limited time today, so I'm going to go ahead and breeze through it as fast as possible. But I do want you to know that at any time, we do have the question box down there in the bottom. So open house presentation was yesterday, Kevin. If you'd like, I'd be happy to send you a copy of that presentation. It was recorded. So when you are working on seller buy down, you can do it both in the client and the partner area. Client is if you're working directly with the client to show them how to do it, and the partner area is if you are working with a realtor. I'm going to show you building it in the realtor section, and I've already started one, and I pulled information and opened all my windows up here at the top. So I'm going to double click on this Leslie Moyer. If you are going to start a new one, you simply click on the new partner. And I'm going to start from the very beginning here. So I put in her name and information. Now the question is, how did I find her? So this is the little trick I'm going to teach you on how to search them out. When you go into Redfin, and I love Redfin because it's so easy for me to pull what has been on the market or had a change in pricing. I have gone in here and I've limited price range because that area, Anaheim, has a large price range. So I did limit that. But what I really wanted to go in here, I wanted to click on this price reduction because I want to know which home has had a price reduction on it recently. These are the homes that you really want to hit on the market. I'm going to update that search because now you know this is a home that they're trying to move. They're trying to get it off the market. And a better way than actually reducing the price may be letting the seller reduce the rate by buying it down. So I found this home here and I opened it up in the next window. Redfin does use their own agents a lot of time. Leslie Moyer, I did a search for her and found that she is actually a Redfin lender. So I went ahead and pulled up that window as well. So now I have all the information I need to build my presentation. When I go into Mortgage Coach, I simply pull information. This is all about Leslie. So I pulled the information from here, her name as well as her phone number right here. Moving on through, now I put referred from. I like putting where I pulled the information. You can put, if there's an individual that you've received it from, you can put it right in there as well. Friendly name, I do two things. I love to date, put a date in the friendly name. It makes it really easy for me to come back to the presentations that I want. And then I put the address because if I'm doing more than one property, for Leslie, if she sees this and she goes, wow, amazing, love the concept. I have another home sitting on the market. Can you make one for me on that property too? I can keep these separate by having that property address right here. I'm going to move through to the next, and now this was the information on the property. As you can see, I just pulled, wrong one. I pulled just the address, which is right here, and put it over here. If you wanted to see where this is located, you can always click on Show Maps. It brings up Google Maps. Okay, yes, I will. David wants to see how I found the property on Redfin. And I do think that's a great tool, so I have no problem explaining it again. When you log into Redfin, I put in the Anaheim district right here and did a search. Once I pulled up my Anaheim district, I put here a little price range as well as the beds and baths. You don't have to, it depends on your market, but I know there's a lot of homes in this market. Now I went to my more filters. This is where you want to focus. Under listing facts, there's a price reduced right here. This shows all the homes that have a price reduction. You can even choose how many days you want to look at. So if you start making this a habit, you can start building it in where you do it every 3 days and you can pick up only those homes. I didn't upload it into MC, I copied the information. So once I was in here, I opened up this home by double clicking it, and it opens up in another window. Here is all the information I need, as well as the realtor that is working on the property. This is where I captured the information. I searched Leslie's name and found Leslie on here. And now I have both the property that I'm working on as well as the agent's information. So when I come over here, I just drop this information in. I see that it's 330 Belrose Way. So I just type that in, 330 Belrose Way. Anaheim, California, and the address or zip code. Did the same thing with her information as well. You can't download it from there. You just have to copy the information. So now we're here to property features. Here's a little secret that I do in order to be able to see it without going back and forth through the screen. I'm going to make this screen a little smaller, lifting it up. Now I'm going to take this Belrose Way, which is the property, and I'm going to separate it. And I'm just going to bring it so I can see the price information, square footage, all of that right here in that top. So when I click here, I can just type the information as needed. Now, I know the price right now is saying it's $565,900. I did a little research. Normally it shows it on Redfin, but it didn't in this case. But the original asking price was the $575. That's why I'm using $575. You want to use the price that they had on there before the price drop because you want to show them how you could have saved their sellers money. So square footage, 1751. Number of bedrooms, 3. Number of bathrooms, 2.5. And then I just went over here, copied this link here, and pasted it right in here. Now you have the more features section here. With the more features, read through the page that it is on. Once you read through that page, you can come through and you can click on here. I did add some special things in here. This is a brand new home still being built. So it is upgraded bathroom, but they do have the choice on their flooring. If you want to remove any of the checks, not have it shown, it simply is unclicking or clicking where it is. So we're going to click on OK now that we have that ready, and we're going to move to the next one. This is where I have images, and you can see my images over here. I'm going to show you how I pulled the images from here, because that will be essential for you guys to understand. When you're on Redfin, simply click on the picture. This large picture, if you push with your mouse button, hold it down, you can drag it right onto your desktop. So it's that easy picking the pictures that you want to have available for you to download. Now I'm going to go back into my Mortgage Coach. Let me pull this down. So I have not put a picture yet in picture number 1. I want the front of that home right here. So now I'm going to go into Browse. And I'm going to find the front of that home. It is the 2-0. When I click on there, the picture comes up. I like it. I'm going to open it up, and that's how easy it is to upload that photo. Now you can change the picture name as well as add a description, but this is solely for you. It is not necessary, and it does not show in the presentation. You can see that we do have the capabilities of adding up to 3 photos. I'm only going to add 2. You can only display 2 on the presentation. Clicking through to the next one. Now this is where you add your product. Is anyone else having problems with audio? Real quick, just to see if anyone else is having any audio problems. Okay, thank you for that, David. Perfect. Thank you guys for responding. Okay, now when we add in the product, you want to use the product that the home is most likely to sell under. So in my situation, this is a high financial valued area. More likely they're going to come in and do a 20% down, or they might do an 80-10-10, something of that sort. So I'm going to use the 30-year fixed with the 20% down. You put your product in the same way you would put your product in when you are putting in a new client or an open house flyer. So I typed in my 30-year fixed. We want to keep that product name under the 12 characters. Now I do have product templates in here, so I dropped in my 30-year fixed sample. If you don't have templates, you just need to make sure you fill in all of the red forms right here. So purchase price has been pulled over, down payment with 20%. The interest rate, I use 4.125 for now, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. And the term is 360. Now in this template, I do have closing cost. If you do not have closing cost, simply clicking on your closing cost, you can add any fees necessary right here. So if I was to add an underwriting fee, and then we can click APR or not APR. It all depends on your area, so my APR fees might be different than yours. Once I'm happy with it, apply to the loan. Now I'm going to move to the next screen. If there is a required earnest money account, you can put that in there. It is totally optional. And now I have, because I know the property, I could put the exact amount of the hazard insurance or the property tax. Hazard insurance would be an estimate still, but the property tax, I could figure it out and put it in there. I'm just going to use a amount right now, a percentage for time's sake. And then I did add in hazard and taxes in here as well as collect the premiums. All you need is one product, because that is the only thing that's going to show up on your presentation is a single product. Now I'm going to move through to the analysis summary screen. In the analysis summary screen, I can make the changes as normal. So in this market, appreciation is expected to be a little higher, so I'm going to set it at 6. Short-term analysis month, we have it set at 60. The reason we use 60 is because 60 is the same amount of time that the average short-term investment is. So that is our point that we kind of measure it off of. You can change and adjust it simply by typing in or by moving the little slider, either one. I'm going to set it back to 60. And then long-term analysis, it normally says 15 right here. I place it at 10. 10 is the average number of years that American families are currently keeping their home before they sell it. That's why I'm using the 10 in this, but you can use any number that you wish. Once you're happy with the way this looks, you can move forward. Again, this is information I pulled off of Leslie's page right here. So she is a Redfin, here is this, as well as I copied her little address up here. Went in, typed in Redfish, put in her cell phone number. I would fill in any information that I have in here. The one thing you do not have to be as concerned about is down here in the street address, city, state, and zip. That does not show up anywhere. That is completely up to you if you want to put that in. It's solely for your own information. So we're going to move on through. Now this is where I'm going to upload her headshot as well as the Redfin logo. Simply clicking on the browse. And now I can find Leslie and put her in here as well as the logo. So you can see once you find the information and put it on your desktop, it's really easy to come in and load it in there. The other thing we have available on all presentations is this little yellow note area. This is solely for you. So this might be information about the realtor themselves. If Leslie has 4 kids or she goes to such and such church, any information you want to put about Leslie, because initially she's a client of yours too, and like you do with your clients, you want them to feel a little more personal, like they understand you and relate to you. Now here on the presentation screen, after you advance, I'm going to go into that seller buy down. Normally it says open house flyer, and you can build either one from it. So if I put more than one product, I could easily flip between the two. But in this scenario, I'm going to click on seller buy down, moving forward, and now this is where I'm going to figure out how much it's going to cost me for that credit. So what I've gone in before, I'm not working on a rate sheet. I'm not in a working market. So I went here and I actually pulled the rates from one of these, and I'm going to go in here and adjust it. So I'm going to show the points now on there. So once it changes, I'm going to use that optimal blue or optimal first because that is the one that came up that I used before. So 3.75 at 1.1 points. Now the easiest way for you to find out what it is you go back into products, and here we can figure out how much it's going to cost them. Whoops, I went one too many. In here is points. If I put in 1.1 and then I click off of it, now I can go back on there and I just put my mouse over it. I can see that it's costing them $5,060. So now I know how much I'm going to put in there. So I'm going to zero this back out. Going back over here. I'm going to move back through the screens. So the amount of price for the credit we know is $5,060. Now the interest rate, we're adjusting it to 3.75. If you're good at math, you can just throw in the difference. If you're not good at math, another cheat here is to put 3.75 here, push tab, and now we can see we are going to adjust that rate 0.375. So I'm going to go back up here and put 0.375. Percent of income to qualify, this is based on the front end, the mortgage only. So I'm going to put that it's 34%. So all of this information is now complete. Does anyone need me to show them again how I pulled the information or how I got the rates here on what I used? If you do, let me know before we move forward, because I know for some people it can be a little bit more confusing. Great, looks like I have a bunch of people that catch on. I love it. So moving forward, now we're at the presentation area. We don't want it to say seller buy down here. So on seller buy down, okay, I do have a couple of questions. What this is, Kevin, is this is the seller is going to pay, instead of lowering the cost of the house, they're going to pay to buy the points down. So the seller is actually buying the points down. Closing costs, the rest of the closing costs, however you normally deal with it, is completely up to you. So it's almost like a seller credit, but it's going directly towards points. And yes, the 3.75 is the difference between the rate and the buy down. Okay, the reduction in the price is different than how much the points are going to cost them. I am using the cost of the points, Charlie. Great question. It is specifically a seller credit. So the seller is going to come in and pay the points in order to reduce the cost of the interest rate, and therefore it's going to reduce the price or the monthly payment that they are going to be making. Not sure what that question means, Charlie. If you can clear that up for me. Yes, exactly, Kevin. In your market, if the seller is giving 3%, show the realtor how they can use that 3% part of it in order to buy points down. When they buy the points down, I'll show you at the end. It actually, many times, less money is applied towards the points, and that way they do not have to go down 10,000. I'll show you that, Charlie. If you hold on, you will see that explanation on why we're not going to lower that price 1,000. It comes down to now you're putting less money in the seller's pocket. You're lowering the equity value of the homes around them, as well as you're lowering your commission and the commission of the realtor. So we want to try to keep that price high, and by doing a seller buy down, you're not impacting the price. This is a great strategy to make everyone happy. So let's go back here. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop it in and I'll answer it as we go. On here, presentation title, you want something catchy. It is going to show up on the presentation. So we don't want it to say seller buy down. Maybe you want to put, got to click on it for it to work. Seller ready to help with closing costs. Something catchy, something that they're going to use verbiage-wise here. I'll show you here. The short description is kind of over there. I'll show you in a moment. So now we're here, presentation. This is where you pick the photos. So I'm using one photo. I'm going to use the front photo. If I had an open house presentation, I could use 2 photos. Moving on through, this is the normal presentation link that you would come to. We do want to throw in that quote date to protect yourself and your company. And now we can go into generate a link. I'm going to go into generate a link because I actually want to be able to highlight on the presentation to help you guys understand exactly what this is showing. I was so excited when I first started doing these presentations. So here is the presentation. We see 30-year fixed. This is what it was on the market before they put that 10,000 in. So that's the 30-year fixed. Now, if they were to go in and just do a price reduction for that 5,060, this is where it would be. If they go in and they do the reduction, the seller buy down, they buy down the rate. This is what this one is for. And finally, if they were to go in and reduce it, so it had the same monthly savings as that seller buy down, this shows they would have to reduce that loan by $25,549. So now you can see why instead of using that $10,000 to lower it, you just want to use $5,000 and lower the rate, because applying that $5,000 to this loan is actually equaling them lowering that loan $25,549. It's based on the actual monthly savings that they're getting. So how much is that monthly payment? So we'll quickly go through this. So on this presentation, what you're going to be showing them is the seller price. So that's one thing you might want to point out here. Right now they have put it on the market for, it's down here, for $565,900. So even at that $565 that they're currently at, that's still not going to equal the same monthly savings that they currently have. Beautiful. Thank you, Charlie, for letting me know. So you might highlight the sales price because the sales prices are different. Also, the APR and the interest rate. And then the other thing I would really focus on highlighting is down here, this $99, as well as the very bottom, the price reduction amount. So any questions or anything on here I need to explain to you? Or if you want me to go back through, because it's really about just understanding what each of these areas are: the 30-year fix, price reduction, rate reduction, and price versus rate. Because if you understand that, you're going to be so excited and you're going to want to go hit Redfin and pull them off and try to get some realtors in your back pocket by using this strategy. So no other questions while you guys think about it and process. Just want to quickly go through this screen. We do have the photo comes up here. The Start Now is your Start Now application button. So if you do have an online application, you do want to make sure that that is connected in your settings area. It also has it co-branded. It has all of your information as well as it has all of your realtors' information down here. We have the disclosure, record message, clear all. If it says clear all, you know that that is one of the windows that's just for you. And that's to clear any of the highlighting up there. Okay, I'll explain that one moment. Let me finish explaining this window. The Call Me Now, if you use click to call credits, and then you can share it, print it, or save it as a PDF. If you're in an open house that they're considering lowering the price in, this is a great one to have to save as a PDF so the clients have something to take away with them. So we're going to go back through. I'm going to quickly explain each of the little sections. So first off, the 30-year fix. This is what the Helm was sitting on the market for. So this was the normal terms, the sales price of $575, 20% down loan, the rate, and then the cash to close and the monthly payment is right here. On the next line, it's showing if I applied the $5,060, which is what it costs to buy down this rate, if I applied this money here to the loan to reduce the loan up here, then this is the calculation for that. So the payment on this one would end up being $2,970. The third one is the rate reduction. So now I'm taking that $5,060. I'm buying my points down on this one. So now my interest rate is going to go down, and therefore my payment went down. My payment went down $99. So considerably more than the $26 that they had here. So based on this, if they would apply the $10,000 here, the actual monthly payment would go down about $42. So that would be the monthly payment. So we're going down $99 and only applying half of that $10,000. And then the last one is if we wanted these two rates to match on the monthly savings, or we wanted their payments to match, how much money would we have to lower the price? So in this case, we lowered the price $25,549 in order to get the same payment of reducing the price. Perfect. So that is this presentation. Here we can see the writing that we had that was asked about, and I'll go back here and show. On this analysis, the short-term, long-term information. Actually, it might be in the presentation. So this information, short-term, long-term, is in there, and it's right over here on the side. So you can see this. Seller ready to help with closing costs is right there at the top. Okay, the thing is, Gary, everyone's in different markets, but you still have some homes, even if you're in a market with the inventory moving, that sit and they're not moving. I know I'm looking in Long Beach right now, and there's a home that keeps going down $10,000 every month. Long Beach is a hot market right now, and I'm waiting to see where that home goes because I'm actually thinking about going and making an offer on it. So it all really depends on the market you're in. But if you are in a really hot market where inventory is low, if you want to approach realtors, what I would be showing them is I would be showing them the move up presentation total cost analysis. Realtors will love this concept. I would go to them, I would approach them, let them know, you know what, let me have your clients that you sold to 5 to 7 years ago. I will co-market with you. We will send this to show them how to leverage their equity because those homes have a lot of equity in them. So it depends on your market. How much did I determine to reduce the price by? That was determined when I went into here to put in my information. It was based on how much is it going to cost me to change my rate 0.375. So that is how I determined how much I would need to invest. Other people can put in here different numbers, but it all comes down to what is it going to cost you to buy that rate down? That's the price per credit. So that'll be that initial drop. Great question, Kevin. Perfect, Gary. The one thing that is auto-populated is this last price per rate. I don't put anything in there. All of that information is auto-populated. So once I put in the information on the price reduction, that is where they calculate using these other two from, because they want to match in, and let me clear this, I'll show you. In the first one, after I put this rate reduction is the information I put in, then it automatically calculates putting the $5,060 here for the price reduction, and then it automatically calculates trying to match the monthly payment in the last one. So it does do a lot of the work for you. Yes. So that is, and that's why I said I love this presentation if you do have homes on the market that are sitting. And another thing to look at when you're in Redfin, you can actually see how long they've been on Redfin. So you could even go by days on Redfin when you decide which homes to approach, such as this one in Anaheim that's been on the market for 130 days and they've had a price drop. I definitely would approach that realtor as well as this one here that's been on the market for 49 days because that's considerably more than what the market currently is. You can go in and strictly look at the properties that have been on the market as well and just hit those homes that have been on the market. So it's a great strategy. Not only that, but it also shows your realtor that they are working with someone who is knowledgeable about mortgages. There are so many people out there working mortgages that do not understand the financial concepts that they should understand working in the market. So this is just another way to show the realtor that they're working with someone who is financially savvy. So any other questions before I wrap this up? You do, let me know. If you do have questions and I'm not available, we always have help right here for you. Clicking on that help takes you into the support site. From the support site, you can now type in any words you want. If you type in seller buy down, creating that buy down flyer is right here in Edge for you. So you can just come back in and it'll remind you this is also being recorded. So you will have that capability of watching this later as well. And you're welcome, David. So it looks like no other questions. I do want to thank you guys for your time. I do understand your time is best out there in the field creating some money in your pocket. So I'm going to give back the rest of the time to you.